Yeah, again, that's a field there for a premise of arguing. There's going to be weak ideas. That's what you're asking for, is people's ideas. You see what I'm saying? It's constantly morphed into an argument now all of a sudden. It's like I know. It's like I brought up saying you should steel man the other person's side. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be an argument.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have a point. If you want to take the best version of their argument and argue against it, then when you argue against it, you would be on more solid ground, right? If you can debunk their argument once you steelmanned it, then they've got no refuge, right?
Yeah, you don't want flurfers wasting your time, right? Like if they come in, even if they say your globe is stupid, they should put together the best version so that the conversation can go efficiently. You know what I mean? Like
everybody out when you steelman an argument. Everybody. It shows respect for their position. It shows that you heard what they said. You repeat it back to them in the best.
There have been a couple of times when I've tried that, talking to a flat earther, and then they say no and double down on the stupid argument.
Right, exactly. That's almost what I was going to say. Right, flat earthers tend to be extremely dishonest, and they really don't deserve the principle of charity. They often don't deserve their argument to be steelman. But Lemon, I would like you to steelman the Black Swan. Go for it.
I already did.
Just do it concisely. Go then. Do it.
Relative to a strata horizon, 1.22 miles away from 1 foot off the ground observer.
On that steel limb.
Please. I'm talking about P then Q, not Q, therefore not P.
Yeah. If P, we all should be no.
Oh, fucking hell, this is pointless. That's the argument. That's not Steelman.
Yeah, that's a Steelman version. Do you have a Steelman version of your own?
Are you telling me that you can do no better than to present a straw man as their best argument?
I could fairly steelman it for you guys. Lemon, it would be something like saying... Yeah.
Do you know what a straw man is, Lemon?
I was trying to...
It's so invalid. It's so fucking retarded that it's not possible.
Then you need to challenge one of the premises. Which premise do you challenge?
You know, you're well aware. I mean, I don't want to go through this all over again because we've done it ad nauseum.
I excluded.
It's the only thing you need to look at.
Steelman.
No,
so
all you need to know, Lemon, is refraction.
Zero.
It's always left out anytime you look at that particular angle.
But you're trying to measure optical angles, dude.
It makes sense.
As a triangle, despite the fact that they're parallel lines. How do you deal with that with geometry?
Errors and hang your head.
Right. Let me know when I can respond.
I mean,
told you.
maybe if
the thing is, you Earth is bigger at best.
But Chris, you're using any amount of refraction to make the globe unfalsifiable. So there is no argument to steel man if you're just going to use any amount of refraction to go anywhere with your Play-Doh man that is taking any shape that you want. So
I'm talking about standard
steel man,
refraction.
then there is no argument that can be thoroughly refuted, debunked, or addressed.
Well, Lemon, there is no sort of refraction that can pull the horizon back in front of any object.
It's the diffraction through the eye.
If the Earth is flat, let me finish. If the Earth is flat, horizon has to always be behind every object. All can never be in front of anything. And most of the time, we see a horizon in front of things. In fact,
that's your theory.
The time we see the horizon in front of the black swan, buddy.
But that's your theory, and your theory is wrong because it doesn't take into account the eye line going parallel to the flat plane beneath your feet. That is where you make angled.
How do you like those apples, pal?
Theories are based off of bad principles. You can't make a theory off of bad principles.
It's not based off of bad principles. Show me what sort of refraction could possibly bring a horizon back in front of an object.
It's not refraction, it's the diffraction through the opening of the eyes that develops a horizon.
You sound like an idiot when you say
Refraction
that.
can raise things up and lower them in front of objects in the background, but the main thing that gives you a horizon is the diffraction through the eye.
Buddy. That's all you're doing. You have no idea what diffraction even means.
The lines across the light rays cross in your eye due to diffraction. Where they cross, you're going to get a horizon. It's that simple.
We'd be better off talking to one of those AIs online, you know, like the God AI or Alice or something, because Lemon just uses all these word salad fucking bollocks words to, you know, get out of anything you ask him. Lemon, you're pointless arguing with, right?
Chris, you're just gaslighting. You need to get a dictionary. Get off the drugs which are impairing logical, consistent functioning of your brain, and you need to have an argument that is solidified and able to be steel man, as opposed to moving your argument all over the place with any amount of refraction. Call me when you do.
All right, fewer words per second. I've got an argument. I'm going to do this real quick with you. I'm going to give you one last chance, right? And in the southern hemisphere, there's a south celestial pole. You can see that south celestial pole from Africa and Australia, South Africa and Australia at the same time during the night, but on a flat Earth, you'll be looking in two different directions. How is that possible?
Optics and perspective.
Elaborate.
I put a video in the chat showing a concave mirror which flips and inverts the image. Perhaps that's what's happening with the star trails over long distances. Concave firmament dome mirror.
Where's this presupposed, reified, non-existent, proven dome of yours? Where do we find any evidence of this?
Sundogs, parhelions.
I mean, you do understand.
Having a curve to avoid hitting something at high altitude.
You do understand that in this argument that I made, that the two observers would be looking in two entirely different directions. In fact, you could possibly have them, back to back, maybe during the summer solstice, because it's winter in the southern hemisphere then. But in my example, it's about 90 degrees difference. They're looking two different directions. They see the same circumpolar stars rotate about the same south celestial pole at the same time. Why?
The pole stars aren't even antipodal. They would need to be antipodal at the north, with a line going straight from the north one straight through the earth, 8,000 miles, straight to the southern one. They are not antipodal, so you don't have a basis for it being on a ball.
You don't need a star. I'm talking about the circumpolar stars that rotate around the south celestial point.
Depends on how you position the camera and how you put the composite photos together. It's way too iffy. And since it's so iffy, you don't have an argument that can be steel-manned and addressed anyway, so just throw it out. It's just too wobbly.
That argument doesn't need steel-manned. It stands in its own merit. Look,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Brian put the diagram in the chat. If you just scroll up a little bit, as you can see, they're looking two different directions. There are no cameras They're just looking with their eyes, right? And they see the Southern Cross, for example, right? Southern Cross is on at least 5 flags around the world in the Southern Hemisphere, from South Africa to South America and, of course, Australia.
Chris Van Matra has a video where he's up in Denver, Colorado, and he's seeing star trails that are diverging from each other like he's at the equator. It looks like it's nothing more than optic.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 2 observers looking in 2 different directions on a flat Earth, seeing the same circumpolar stars, such as the Southern Cross.
Well, why is it that different people?
The video you just talked about, I'd like to see what you're talking about.
It's the video I just put up in there. It's at 6:18. Chris Van Matra. You can see the stars diverging, like they're going toward 2 different poles. Where he is up in Colorado, it looks like it's nothing more than optics. And another thing is, on a flat plane, why is it that 3 people in the Northern Hemisphere in North America, one in Europe and one in England, can look up at the sun at high noon in 3 different directions and still see the sun? You know why? What do you call it? Time zones. They have to wait for the sun to circle around to where they are, and then the local perspective rules take over based off of the carousel of stars, sun, moon, and stars, where they are locally. Simple.
Calma, Lemon. You're really, you're doing 1,000 words.
You don't get it.
Stay in the south.
Stay
in the south.
Wait, I'm looking at your video. Where should I? What time?
Good job.
It's a 6-minute video, dude.
Sorry to do this, Chris. I just want to say hi to my daughter who's listening on YouTube. Hi.
People are just
Hello, Jeremy's daughter.
You can see the diverging star trails at 3:27.
Sorry, what time, Lemon?
3:27.
Okay. I really don't know what
Then your mind has been thoroughly addled by drugs. Call me when you can think straight.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't deny that, Lemon. But what am I looking at here? They look like star trails with I don't know, maybe an hour exposure time. Lemon, what am I supposed to be looking at here? Is he fucked off?
Yeah,
he's the hit and run king, isn't he?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, what's his name under the? What am I looking at here?
Church of Lemedisia. Church of Lemedisia is what he's going with right now. Laodicea, sorry. The Church of Laodicea.
It changes the name all the time. But I mean, I actually quite like Lemon. I think he can be a laugh. But when he gets into that 1,000 word per second, mode and all this word salad bollocks, he's just intolerable.
I just want to clear one thing up earlier. Twit called me rude because I talked over someone because I didn't realize someone was talking, which I usually try not to do. But
Hey, Jeremy, what do you think of the South Celestial Pole problem?
it's only a problem if you know how the sky works and exactly what everything is and all that.
Sorry?
You think you know how the sky works?
It doesn't matter how the sky works. The fact is that these observers are seeing the same circumpolar stars at the same time, yet on a flat Earth, any flat Earth, they would be looking in different directions.
So somebody in South Africa and Australia look up at the sky and they see the same stars.
Correct.
Yes.
And people in the north look up and they see the same stars. And Europe.
The north is irrelevant. The north is irrelevant.
I'm
right
just saying,
now,
what's the problem? What's the problem with looking up in the sky and seeing the same stars?
Because the two observers would be looking in two different directions.
Yeah, look at Flashburn's 318 post.
for an example?
I reposted it. Like I said, it's possible, maybe, that in South Africa and maybe Western Australia, you could have nighttime at the same time there, and those observers would be essentially back to back. But we don't need that. South Africa and South America will do just.
All right, so someone in South Africa and South America, they look up at the sky and they see the same stars, but they look in different directions.
On a flat Earth, they're looking in different directions. Correct.
Oh, you're saying on the globe, they're looking in the same direction?
They all look up.
Yeah, they're looking south. Yes.
Are they taking into account magnetic declination?
Oh, that's a Riley argument. It doesn't matter. Once you, I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. You can determine south without using a compass.
Jeremy, did you look at the picture though? So you understand what we're talking about by 90 degrees off, right?
Yeah, I can't. I gotta go right now, so maybe later we'll get into it.
But I don't think he still understands the problem.
Yeah, I don't think you understand that. You don't know how the sky works. So, is on this premise.
Know what that means.
Everything we're about to go through is on the premise that you know exactly how the sky works.
Well, we know it well enough to make
That's not
predictions
true,
on how the sky works. We can make predictions. Flat Earth can't. Who knows who knows better then? I'm sorry.
Right, Jeremy.
What's your answer?
He had to go, you know.
Yeah, he had to go.
Conveniently.
At high noon are the same thing as at the same. What Lemon doesn't seem to realize is that local noon for each of those places is not the same as the same time universally at different locations, looking different directions and seeing the same thing. I don't know why he's so wrong, but he's incredibly wrong.
Brian, I have to hand it to you that you understood what he was saying about that, because I had no clue.
Yeah. At the current moment, he's saying that these three countries all see the sun in the same location at different times, and he's got something so incredibly nonsensical compared to what was being said that it's hard to even consider that he thought they were similar.
I mean, it's been said before, you could get like 50 words Lemon uses in a soundboard, put them together, and you couldn't tell the difference. Luciferian, agenda, satanic, fucking perspective.
Yeah, just quote him. Just quote him for what he said. I'm willing to cobble any amount of woo together to reject the round earth and project the flat.
Well, you know what Sammy Rose says.
So I listened to the video. The guy has no issue with the star trails being like they are. He has an issue with he cannot understand why he thinks the moon, the length of its trail, he thinks should be different than the length of a star trail, based on the distance away from us.
Oh, right.
Now, mind you, he didn't bother to put anything up there and actually measure the lengths of the trails, but he's just asserting that the trails are exactly the same and that they shouldn't be.
Lemon used to be an ardent Samuel Rowbotham proponent, but it's not so much anymore. He would always talk about Samuel Rowbotham. In fact, so much so that he said 3,000 but didn't give the units. So I called them 3,000 Sammy Rose.
So yeah, now we got Quiet Noobs over there comparing different altitudes on different days and different conditions, saying that that solves everything.
It helps him.
That GIF he's just posted. Why does that not show what Soundly shows? Is it to do with the angle that he's looking at the pylons, or
A lot of it is the zoom. A lot of it's the angle that he's seeing it at. If he's higher up and further to the right, it takes more of the bend out of it.
I mean, imagine going all the way to Pontchartrain to take these observations and fuck it up so monumentally that you convince yourself somehow that Soundly is, using trickery. Instead of replicating what Soundly has done to a T, they just, do whatever will support their position. In fact, that's what I have to. What's had done, and I think that in large part changed his mind.
The structure?
Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the pylons, he did the causeway, and the bayou, I think. Whatever, there were 3 different observations. His camera wasn't a P900. I believe he had 40 times magnification, but nevertheless, he essentially replicated Soundly's results. He was reluctant to accept it at first. He was giving excuses, but eventually he did accept. Shout out to Shroomy. Shout out to Shroomy. I can't find Jose's Lake Pontchartrain in the search results, but they're there somewhere. Shout out to Cat Earth and Tim Osman.
Can you be more entertaining, please? There's people watching, and we're losing them fast.
Am I allowed to sing on YouTube?
No, never sing.
Who did you just call upon to be more entertaining, Jeremy?
Well, find what non-singing ways of being entertaining. All of you. All of you.
Oh,
no,
well, I mean,
you can't make profit off of me. I want my cut.
What have you got in store for Sunday roast, Jeremy?
Nothing at all at the moment. I'll tell you what I might have, though. Interesting video, I thought.
Something stupid.
Here's something to discuss that you will all hate.
Give it to us.
But it is current for this reason. Mark Sargent released a video today suggesting it's all a simulation.
Mark has officially figured out that he can't profit off of flat Earth anymore, so now he's switching to simulation theory, so he doesn't have to provide any evidence ever again.
Well, he was promising. I mean, he almost said it. Can't quite remember what the phrases were at the end, but the idea that he's presenting is you have to go through this bit to get to the good bit. He's literally offering a sort of a life after death, a heaven after. He's proposing this sort of an idea.
I have no issue with there being an afterlife. There very well may be. There might not be. Who cares? Linking it to simulation theory and then to flat Earth, I don't understand where he got the idea that would be useful.
Well, because he's making the promise, I guess, that all religions are making, but without the religion part of it, or with his religion, if you like. You know, this bit, it crappy though it is from their point of view, it's that way for a reason, so that you will really dig how cool it is when all this shit's over and your simulation ends and you return to your reality in some way, I guess.
Or you wake up and it's all a cosmic joke and you go, ha ha ha, what a funny life that was. Like, I mean, is he talking about simulation theory as in like maybe this is all simulation by aliens and like that kind of simulation?
He never mentioned aliens. It's just, drawing comparisons between, reality and the construction of video games.
I could just see this mixing with Bob Nadell's idea of making a religion. You could be one of the major pastors of it. So you turn to the Book of Dubay, proof number 96, and you find that it can't be a globe, and you'll be. I can see this happening now. Strangely enough,
like I honestly don't discount the possibility that this is a simulation.
It's interesting though, because if you, sorry, go ahead, Chris. No, go ahead.
Just real, but if it is a simulation, then I think when we die, that's it. We would, be deleted.
Yeah, there's no reason, is there? I think if you're proposing it's a simulation, there's no reason to believe that what you're experiencing as an entity within the simulation is, sort of I don't know, it's part of something greater. That is, you could be an entity in the simulation that is not connected to an entity in some objective reality. You aren't an avatar. You're just a sprite in a game.
Right. Right. Like, we're not a brain in a vat, right?
Does that mean that if computer's being taxed too hard, we just suddenly aren't rendered?
Possibly. If it overheats, maybe.
We're like
aren't we trying to put constructs of what we know as a computer-based system into this system?
No, we're going off of what Mark Sargent said, which is apparently that we're very much like a video game, which means that when the frame rate goes down, we're getting rid of the grass.
Well, no, putting him aside, when people start talking about this theory or this whatever, aren't we putting in a construct where we can try to understand it from a computer standpoint? Like, the
Matrix.
No. Kata says maybe we go to the next level when we die after a boss fight.
Yeah, a boss fight with a bus and lose.
It's not a game though, so simulation. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to appeal to computers and all that when you're talking about a simulation. You can actually compare that with a lot of the thoughts in philosophy, like Descartes' thoughts, and what's the other one? One that kid was talking about. Either way, the point is that you just come to the idea that because you exist, that means that you exist as in some sort of way outside of just being a computer program. That's why I've always I never liked that postulation, those three postulations that Scott puts forward, the argument, the trilemma.
Trilemma, yeah.
Because the only thing that it's trying to claim is that we could possibly be AI in some computer program. But I think that because you exist at all, I think that means that you exist in some because you can think. I mean, it means that you exist in some capacity outside of just being a program in a computer. I think you have to actually be. You have to actually exist in some tangible way.
But
like whatever the real reality is.
If someone's operating me, I wish you'd get a few more in-game purchases. Because this is crap. Better body upgrade would be good. Maybe if you could pay for rejuvenation, that would be quite useful.
Was it more of it, Kosho?
Sex, a lot of sex. That would be good as well.
Well, in my personal philosophy or the religion or whatever you want to call it, I think that there's one user. There's only one user. So your user is the same as my user. It's actually the same person, but we're just all different avatars of this user, which could be the case.
He's a clever user if he's operating 7 billion avatars.
Well, a lot of it, if you think about this, would be like even you play like Sims, or you could play Sims is actually a great example, because Sims, you have a whole array of people and you have different houses full of people. There's really only one user, but there's there's one person controlling all of it.
It can't be like Sims because I rarely have to put a fire out. And in Sims, you constantly have to put fires out. Your house is just constantly bursting into flames, as I remember.
There's always something going down.
Was it Descartes and Moravec or fucking Bostrom, Kosho?
Yeah, Nick Bostrom. He's the one with the trilemma.
Well, even the theory of multiverse is pretty mind-boggling complex. I mean, the thought that there are millions of me's doing different versions of what I just did, it sounds preposterous to me, but
anything that can happen does happen.
You talking about the many worlds interpretation?
Yeah, there's a rock star me somewhere. Imagine that.
Well, the main world's interpretation says that there's infinite versions of you. There's so many versions of the universe that most of them you don't exist in, and the ones that you exist in, like every possible little tiny chance that could have changed, things occurring, like all these possible things occurs in some universe. But that to me, that seems kind of silly too. But I used to.
Yeah, Jem, in some universe, then you're intellectually disabled. in another universe, you're a flat earther. In most universes, those are the same thing.
Yeah. Somewhere I'm a mass murderer.
In another universe, you realize that that's just nonsense.
But that's half the people. There's only those are the two main interpretations of quantum mechanics, and there's a lot of people who subscribe to that, like scientists. I mean,
Hey, listen, has anybody watched the video that Nathan put up? I just got done watching it.
Why would anybody?
Why would I support him?
Well, it's a pretty good video because it shows.
No,
the
it's
guy,
not. Not if Nathan made it. Nathan's
Rubbish.
never made a good video.
Nathan Oakley didn't make it.
Oh, good. Well,
I don't know
okay.
I don't know who made it, but it definitely wasn't Nathan's voice. It was a guy who just does time lapse of the moon, you know, and it does these moon trails. And he was showing how the moon trails are going, no matter where he's at, are going in the same direction at the same length, or the trails are the same length as the stars behind it. And I've seen this phenomenon before with a planet, a particular planet that was next to the moon had the same length trail as the moon itself. So I'm wondering, isn't the moon supposed to be orbiting around us at a certain rate?
yeah.
So
How's that working?
How is the star trails the moon if the moon's actually orbiting us and it's closer, but yet those stars are supposed to be a lot further away? You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if it was just the... Anyhow.
Try to get to this yourself for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, try to think about this. What is a longer duration? The orbit of the moon, like the time it takes to orbit around the Earth one time, or the time it takes for the Earth to rotate one time?
So
I'll go ahead and tell you.
If the Earth is rotating within a 2-hour period, right?
Bro, I'll answer my question first. Otherwise, we're going to go somewhere else. Because it's very simple. The Earth rotates faster than the moon orbits the sun. The Earth rotates in 24 hours. The moon goes around in 30 days. So when you're taking a star trail photography, what you're observing is not going to be just the moon going around the Earth. You're rotating most exclusively the Earth rotating. All the other movements will be in that image. Like you'll have some differences that you could detect if you know what you're looking for. But since in this case you and Nathan don't know what you're looking for, you guys are wildly.
Are you talking about Nathan Oakley?
Did you say Nathan Oakley's video?
No, it's not. It's not Nathan. It's Lemon posted it.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Lemon, Nathan, any flyer through you.
Yeah.
Just remember that when you're watching this, and it seems less confusing because.
It's the Earth spinning that really gives the illusion.
Yeah, you got it. But right, there's a slight difference in the amount that it moves compared to the stars because of the orbit, but it's very slight, and it's something that unless you really know what you're looking for,
so the flat Earth. Gotcha. So the flat Earth thought is that the Earth is stationary, and those things are actually close to each other, rotating at the same speed. Is that the idea of the flat Earth?
I think that they know the moon orbits, the moon goes around slower. I think they know that because, or at least, they'll admit that because it's just true.
Well,
if you ever watch the moon at any given time, it's going to go slightly slower than the rest of the stars because you're right, it's orbiting basically the other direction.
Well, that's what it looked like to me. I mean, that's what it sounded like he was trying to say in the video is that he was explaining, well, it looks as though the moon and stars are traveling not only the same rate within a 2-hour period, but in the same direction, because no matter where he was doing this video, it was taking the same shape. You know what I mean? Like a frown, happy face, straight. So he was saying that the moon and stars, It indicates that they're not far from each other in their location. He didn't say where they were located. He just said, that's what it looks like.
You can imagine this on a merry-go-round or something. If you're in a merry-go-round and there's people like roller skating around you or something, if that merry-go-round started to go really fast and all you can do is like see the streams of those people, it wouldn't matter which direction those people were roller skating around you. They would all seem to be going in one direction. You know what I mean? Since that's all you're observing is the rotation of the Earth. Doesn't matter which direction everything in the sky is going, unless it's going faster.
So you've seen these videos that they've provided?
No, but I've seen plenty of Star Trek pictures, and videos and all that kind of stuff. I'll take a look at Lemons.
With the moon and stars? Yeah.
I'll take a look at his video, but I mean, you said that you understood why.
I mean, if in a 2-hour period, if the moon, you wouldn't even really notice its orbit. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make a difference because compared to the Earth's, right?
The moon would not be occult stars if it did not move at a different pace. By occult, I mean get in the way of.
The moon's motion, apparent motion through the sky, is going to lag behind the motion of the stars by approximately 1 apparent lunar diameter, the width of the moon, per hour, roughly. It's about that much.
Exactly. If the moon was sky, it would always have the same stars in orientation around it, always.
And to Australia, I'd be seeing the front side. New Zealand would be seeing the back side. That's never happened.
Hey, can you post Lemon's video, if you don't mind, Mr. Reality, just because I'm looking for it, and it's difficult to find.
Yeah, I'll put it.
Yeah, I'm doing some lines on from the center of the moon to from the center of moon to center of moon across this, and then comparing it to the length of the star trails. As far as I can tell, the moon is going a shorter distance.
Exactly what I was saying. Like, if you knew what you're looking for, like this guy who made this video, he could make a new video that would be doing what Brian is describing, something like that, where you're saying, okay, well, they're both moving the same direction because they're supposed to, but which are they moving the same rates that they're supposed to? And if he was real scrutinous with it, then he would have done that and gotten information.
Add a proper editor, that way I could actually track these better.
Okay, all right, I found the right one. I just posted.
Cool.
Oh, look whose channel it is. Our favorite Flat Earth surveyor.
Oh, is this isn't the Swinging Gate guy, is it?
I don't know about Swinging Gate. He's their surveyor.
Hey, you flat earthers know you lost somebody the other day, right? They're converted.
Yeah, that Swinging Gate guy curved. You're right.
No, that's not Swinging Gate guy.
What's his name? The Swinging Gate guy, Chris something.
It is, I believe it is Chris, but he's English, and Chris Van Matra is American.
I think you guys are thinking about Chris. He used to go by Chris MXCII or something like that. He's pretty gay.
Well, I knew that was coming.
Good one, Kosho.
Very similar.
And so if you take a lot of the information that you just heard, like from what Curve said about how much it should move by, the one thing you have to remember is these Star Trail videos. They're usually, I mean, like I said, you have to have all the data to know exactly how long they are, but they're usually some duration of 3 hours or something like that, or less than 3 hours.
Yeah, I think he said 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, he said the majority of these are 2 hours. He didn't. He then said one was longer, but didn't say which one was longer.
So it's not going to be a great deal of difference in 2 hours, is it? Out of a 360-degree movement in a month.
Do any of y'all know anything about studio reference monitors? Well, I got a guy offering to buy me some new studio monitors, and I was just wondering. Focal monitors. I'm looking at those in the Adams. I just wondering if any of y'all have a particular pair find is pretty accurate or flat, whatever you want to call it.
No, I like Louis. He's just he don't like me.
I never heard of. Is that a brand?
So
it's because you're English, Broomy.
He's English as well.
No, he's not.
He's not. Is Louis not English?
Rami, are you the same person this morning? Yeah, you are the same person this morning.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not going to ruin it.
What does that mean?
No, there was somebody that you were asking about where they're from.
Oh yeah,
their answer.
I see if Curved is from America.
Samoan. Well, I just wanted to answer Jeremy or Mr. Reality's question real quick, just because I feel you jumped in.
Sorry, just.
Well, I might as well change it. But, Mr. Reality, maybe I'll type to you in the chat. That's all.
Yeah. What about?
The thing you just asked, I'll just type to you in the chat about it.
Okay, gotcha.
That was funny. Yeah. Sorry, brother.
That's kind of horrible for the broadcast, isn't it?
Are you Mr. Reality?
Well,
Kosho, are you Mr. Reality too?
Are you
Culture? I think the jig's up. They figured out that you're Jeremy and that you're Mr. Reality.
No, that's just what.
Who aren't you?
That's just what. That's just what fucking VD's Indian friend that's coming to Austin calls me.
He will never be Australian.
Jem, you're streaming now?
You know
I am indeed, yes.
visited Austin and left already, right?
She better have, dude. She wouldn't stop.
You totally missed her.
Yeah, okay.
Cleary says, better to die flat and then live round.
Whatever.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. Jim.
Yes. Hello.
This is the sheriff from Nottingham here. Just want to make sure you paid your tax.
I the sheriff from Nottingham sound like Don Knox.
No, I'm a tax evader.
Oh, it sounds like the sheriff of Nottingham from the old Disney cartoons. That's actually pretty decent.
Don't be like that old fox, because I know he's around here somewhere, but he won't get back. He won't get past this sheriff.
All right, so you hear this is being streamed live. This is the thing to do.
That's the only character I do, or that I can do.
Well, what about you? You yourself, you're quite a character.
Well,
Hey, thanks,
so you're
man.
saying you're not Kosho and you're not Jeremy?
Oh, I'm not saying that.
Oh.
You notice how Mr. Reality and Kosho don't speak at the same time.
Where are you from again, Mr. Reality? You from let me guess. Florida, is that right?
New York.
He's got one of them Canadian accents.
I'm from Florida.
Florida. Yeah, see, I don't do a Florida accent. That's how you know it's not me. I do a Texan accent, a Georgian accent, and a Tennessee accent.
Where I'm from, you have like 30 minutes up the road. You have people that talk a lot like this, you know what I mean? Like really country sounding. And then you have
in Alabama.
People right on the coast really don't have that accent. But I grew up a little in the woods as well as on the coast surfing a lot. So I have a mixture. People say I sound Australian. Why they think that, I don't know.
Nobody has ever said you sound Australian. Don't lie.
I've heard it all my life that I sound Australian. I think that's because it's a slight redneck twist. Surfer.
Big time.
Well,
maybe I've grown out of it because now all I've been working with is a bunch of rednecks, which I love rednecks, you know. I ain't nothing wrong with them.
What part of Australia did they say you're from?
Mike,
I can hear you, Oz.
They never even said what part. They just said, man, you sound Australian.
He sounds like he's from Melbourne.
Let me tell you, man, I wish I did sound like I was Australian.
Can you do a Cajun accent?
I think he sounds like a character from that movie called Rango, which I just can't think of what character.
My buddy's from Australia. He, you ever heard of the Newsboys?
From Australia, thank God.
Isn't that the Christian band?
yeah, it's the Christian band.
They're all in your
You've
head.
got friends in Australia, Kosho. They're in Shib.
Kangaroos?
No. He's cassowaries and emus.
Kosho's got plenty of Australian friends.
They make blow up dolls in Australia. I didn't know that.
I thought that's where he was headed.
Waifus.
Oh, you're fucking
sending that offshore soon.
I don't know.
It looks like breast.
Oh.
There's no dead air allowed. You've got to keep talking while we're live. Okay.
Did that answer your question?
We'll lose our broadcast license if there's dead air.
You know, Jim, I have a patent on, so I collect the royalties.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this video again. My God.
With his monitor talk, ruined it.
Well, I'm looking again at this this video of the moon and all that, and yeah, there's no way to. I don't think there's any way to conclusively to see the difference, but it's enough to know that they're going the same direction. So
we may have attracted a flatty. Hang on, where's the bloody members?
Member log.
Yeah, I can't.
Hold on.
Just tool up Cleary, will you?
And then maybe it should be better if the members were at the top of this list. Because you wouldn't have to scroll up and down.
I know, because I can never find a bloody thing. It drives me nuts. And
there's somebody called.
Do we need most of this shit?
That's kind of my point. Like all this extra stuff would go at the very, very bottom, so that it wouldn't be in the way all the time. Stuff you never go to. But yeah, Reet just joined. Reet was the last one to join.
Who? What?
Somebody called Reet, and Jin joins. I guess every time he comes in here because Wait, no. Hold on. I'm looking at something.
You're looking at some time in the past, I think, maybe.
Yeah, somebody called Cleary just joined.
Yeah, I've told him. I've done him now. He's all right. It works.
Back up off my backup.
Yeah, I think we better get Was a GoFundMe.
Oh, Rango.
You can get Rich to buy you a new mic tomorrow after you get a few at him. Was.
That's not a bad idea. He likes to do that. I'll tell him it's some sort of drink, eh?
Yeah, he loves buying tricks.
You guys just make sure to take some good pictures again so we can make some more gifts out of them. Hold on, let me find it.
And maybe you'll run into David Bowie's dad. He owes you. You can get a mic out of him, maybe.
Oh yeah, that guy. Shit. I don't want to run into him. It costs me too much money.
Oh, was that the guy that Rich met that one time?
Hey?
I forget the story from the David Bowie's dad.
He was born in 1918. I think it was. Or was it 16? Something like that.
Hey, Jim, I was going to ask you, when you were talking about content for Sunday and stuff, you posted that King's, like, I guess there was an update, and the King, they went to England to do some bullshit.
Right.
Is there more updates with that? Because that to me is a really interesting.
It is,
thread.
isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm going to see what he's been up to this week, but it does seem to be, a sort of a live one. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems to be stringing, like, I think because he's gotten the awareness of people, like he's making more, because he wrote those things himself and like put those together in a nice, neat. Really, it's really kind of weird, actually. Like when you're lying like that. Moved ahead before I got a chance to, but you said that he got those, or somebody in his family or whatever got those letters from Queen Victoria, but didn't you say it also was in French?
Yeah, it's written in what do they call it? Not just French. It's a particular sort of dialectic sort of version of French, I think.
Casual French. Sounds like a type of relationship.
Yeah.
Casual French relationship. No, but
a kiss.
Yeah, right. No, but yeah, like I said on Sunday, it's just because obviously it could escalate pretty quickly. That's why if you ever got it to the point where somebody was actually, if he made like the royal family aware of what he's doing, and then it actually looked like he was gaining supporters or gaining viewers, even, yeah, I would be worried about the the result, but what that would mean, because 9 times out of 10, something's going to happen to him, either like legally out in the open or something, or as an accident or something like that.
Right.
Or you mean he gets like committed to an insane asylum?
Yeah, they're not the royal family for nothing, They will gangster. Dark forces move around.
Wasn't the that tower still available? People to be locked up in?
Well, that would be very, very. They don't do stuff that public. they've got people at their disposal, haven't they, that can do stuff.
007, James Bond.
But that's real, isn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, that's a movie, but there really are secret agents and people like that. Those people actually exist.
Well, there's a reporter. Sorry.
Special forces people and ultimately they all work for the Queen.
Yeah, they're just going to do it.
To the royal family, isn't it? It's kind of like part of being in the military, I think. So, it finishes with them ultimately.
There was a reporter here called Michael Hastings, and it's debatable, I guess, but I don't think it's really debatable because he was saying that he was probably going to get killed because he had a private meeting, or he had a candid meeting with like generals and stuff, and they just happened to be locked in an airport because the airport was closed. Anyways, he ended up getting killed, but the way he got killed was so weird that his car. So his engine like flew out of his car after it set on fire. It flew like half a block out of his car, and his car basically seemed to have exploded, even though there was no really means for it to have exploded. There's a lot of details about it, and so a lot of people were just convinced that it was being remotely controlled by something else. But that's exactly the type of they say that when you talk about Diana. It looks like I guess the story is it was paparazzi and they caused like a traffic accident, but you can just you can create something like that happening and just make it look like a.
I think the royal family are in a position where, they've all been in the military. The equerries and all people like that, they're all ex-military people. They could make stuff like that, those sort of practical things happen in the real world without having to go through any government channels, because they're already surrounded by people who are at the top of, or who have been at the top. The military.
Is the real one called MI6 or MI5?
That's
both
confidential. You can't know the Kosha. We'll have to kill you.
Like a.
Probably do. Just imagine you can, like for instance, a prime minister we had recently was David Cameron, right? Now, elected to be a prime minister, you first have to be a Conservative politician. To get to be that, you have to be elected by a local party to stand to be their rep. You have to go and pitch Conservative Party and years. And David Cameron apparently didn't do that well in his pitch, but there was a phone from the palace. So, as the representative for this Conservative, when they went off to do the voting, this phone call comes through from Buckingham Palace. And David Cameron is like, I don't know, he's a direct descendant of, I don't know, is it William the Fourth or something? He's linked to the royal family anyway in a sort of peripheral sense. It's that sort of thing, you know what I mean? They can make somebody get elected.
Yeah.
Just with a phone call.
And you're right, they are the royal family. Because the truth is, if that guy, this whatever his name is, the dude who's trying to say he's king, if he really wanted to be king, there's you don't have to actually have the rights to it. like that helps because then you get backing. But if you have the will and the the ability to influence these people or kill these people and get away with it or whatever, you mean you could just become king that way. And so if you have a royal family and it's the case that they're not the actual legitimate royal family, that doesn't mean that they're going to be what's it called, the opposite of coronation, decoronated or something. Because all you have to do is like what you're saying, like just be cutthroat and eliminate the enemies and the people who are making those kind of claims.
I reckon they could do that if they wanted. Although, having said that, I mean, there was like this this Russian woman that was claiming to be one of the Romanovs, and that went on for several years. And eventually, I think it was Prince Charles had a DNA test, and she was, I believe, she was shown to be what the last of the Romanovs.
She really was.
I think so. Yeah.
But they have incentive to not, or to lie about that or something, because it was technically, like, if you look at the actual like who killed Rasputin and who Western influencers who really wanted that to happen, so it's probably them.
Right. No, they wouldn't have it
because they had a revolution. So,
any idea who?
I think it was JR.
JR got shot.
It was the shadow of the figure on the grassy knoll.
It's not a new movie. Has nobody figured out yet? They don't tell you in the movie.
I told you it was Doc Brown.
I'm not there. I'm just drawn that way.
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a great movie, to be honest. I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah,
I really like Robert Zemeckis, though.
Ground.
Well, yeah, but the actual story and everything itself was just pretty tedious, I thought.
What, like Flat Earth?
Not as tedious as that, but getting on that way.
It has a... Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Curve.
Well, it sounds like you're more on the same topic. I was going to segue a little bit.
Well, what I was going to say was just kind of stupid, but I was just going to say that it does have a record, because that's why I like Robert Zemeckis, is he does a lot of cutting edge stuff. And at the time when they made that movie, it was like the last one made that way, where they like overlaying animation and then the film. So they actually used film to make it, and it's got the record for the most film used for a single movie. But yeah, pointless. Go ahead, Mr. Curve.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Flat Earth and tedious and all that, what was Mr. Reality's point or question with the moon in a star rotation video? Is that what it was?
Yeah, something Lemon posted, and I guess the Lemon and the guy who posted it, they must be under the same conclusion. I'm sorry, the guy who made it, that the moon is going around the sun, or going around the Earth at a different direction than the stars are, and it's supposed to be going, it's moving differently than the stars are, basically. And you don't see that in the Star Trails pictures. I guess the assumption would be that you're supposed to see it going the opposite direction in the Star Trails or something. But right.
That's horrible. Why do people think such stupid things?
Because they're desperate to believe the Earth's flat.
As soon as I described it, at least he said, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense." But yeah, it would just be the result of someone not thinking about it for very long.
Did you hear? That before that we were getting creamed via the Globers, but now we've got evidence that's just as good as what the Globers have.
What evidence?
The black swan, and you can't have gas pressure without a container. It's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics.
It has nothing to do with the second law of thermodynamics.
That's it. That is the argument. We're done.
No spoils.
Yeah, I know.
You in there? I didn't hear you talking. But I was trying to.
And 24/7.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, Jake on planes here."
I was asleep. I fell
damn.
asleep on the couch. I was listening to it. Yeah, I fell asleep. But it's this. It's got every time I go in there, it's literally like someone is playing a recording back over and over again.
Yeah.
It's literally the same things. Although I suppose someone would probably say that about this place and people talking to Jeremy and Chemo.
Yeah.
It does seem like Groundhog Day, though.
For
But
Groundhog
they-
Day,
Dude,
he
they
learns
sound.
a bunch of shit.
How about. Go ahead.
I was going to say confident in 24/7. I mean, so confident. Like, it's just absolutely mind-boggling how confident
I
they
know,
feel about
I know.
this.
That's what gets to me when I listen to them. It's just how just full of it they are. It's amazing.
Because they're in there bowling with the bumpers on and cheering every time they get a strike. But it's almost like impossible to not get a strike when you have the fucking when you have the bumpers on. But yeah, there's dudes who are so confident in there, and those confident dudes are the dudes who never leave there.
Right. And they go, I'm done debating. The debate. If you want to we could do a trivia if you want, Coach.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, if you guys like to, I'll do a quick round, and then because we got some Australians in here, and we have some. I made several different types of rounds. So
Where's your evidence? There's Australians.
Good eye, mate.
They're all
That's not
Kiwis.
one.
They're all Kiwis in disguise.
No. You have to prove that New Zealand exists, and you can't use hobbits.
Why wouldn't you use hobbits?
New
Unless
Zealand
anyone.
doesn't.
In here. Who else is in here? Who is?
Well, he's asking if he's muted, so it's hopefully he's not.
Batting for the other side.
I'd like to fight with Rakia.
Jackie.
Oh shit! Yeah, he just left when he saw he was getting called out. He's like, "Oh fuck." I think he was getting worried that he was gonna have to. I was about to tell him that I would. I'll even protect him, knowing that there's a fucking 20 people. That's only just to get him to.
No one wants to be protected by Jeremy.
Well.
Go on, and Coach, get it in action.
Alrighty. Well, if you guys all want to play, whoever wants to play, you have to go to the trivia text room to participate. Once you're in the trivia text room, question, you just got to press X to answer correctly, or to try to answer the question. Whoever presses it first is going to get an opportunity to ask to answer the question, right? And if you haven't played in the past week or so, it's important to do the .reg. So if you just press .reg, that'll register your account so that it doesn't mess the game up when I try to pay you. That would be great. Further ado. Fucking wrong button. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put some science ones in there since there's a bunch of science students in here. I'll put some regular ones also. So hold on.
Okay.
Does everybody know where the trivia text chat is? Anybody who wants to play, having trouble finding it?
If you can't figure that out, you got no point in playing for you. Getting the questions right. text room right above the text room that we're usually in.
NASCAR geography.
So we're going to talk about American sport on American television.
Well, no, yeah, that's right. So if you see a round come up that you feel is unfair or just boring, let me know and I will alleviate that issue.
NASCAR geography.
Win.
I mean, they're just.
Based on that, or whichever one it is you like. You can use their questions.
That would be good, actually. That would be good.
I can get those questions.
That would be great because people would fucking get them wrong so much because they're all designed for you to go, aha, I know that. And then you say it and it's wrong.
What is Leicester?
City next to Manchester.
It's actually a city next to Nottingham, where I live, and it's Leicester.
It's not Manchester. It's pronounced master. You got to remove half the consonants if you're going to speak Queen's English.
Manchester is spelled Manchester.
You don't pronounce anything the way you spell it.
Well, that's spelled how we.
Manchester.
Not Manchester. I mean, CH it makes a ch sound, right?
I know. I'm kidding.
So apart from that, it's entirely phonetic.
I have headphones on the way. By the way,
Leicester, however, is not.
Leicester.
It's Leicester.
Lister. Listerine.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys about one other new feature that we have in this game, which is just the what's it called, daily double, just like it is in the show. When they have a daily double.
Dude, I'm gonna call Alex Trebek and he's gonna come and kick your ass.
All right, just get on with it, Coach. We're losing viewers.
Further ado, like I said, in the trivia text. Okay. Also, my I'll take all this that way. So hold on. And whoever wins is going to win. The only thing you have to know is about the daily double thing. You get to wager an amount. So when that comes up, whoever got the answer correct, the last person to get a correct answer is going to have the opportunity to make a wager, whatever the daily double question is. So let's go ahead and begin. And don't forget to register. So .reg. All right. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the first question is from D in science. So D in quotation marks in science for $900. So in 1837, this French theatrical designer invented a new type of photography. Who the fuck knows this answer? Mr. Shroomy.
Digital.
All right, that's good. That's a good guess, but it's not correct. And so also, if as you guys can see, once somebody gets it wrong, I'll type that. Some diamonds will come up, and you can try to guess again. But I'm going to go ahead and give the answer now in 3, 2.
Well, Dr. Bob's in there, look.
Oh, Dr. Bob's in here. Okay.
With an X.
Oh well, he was a little bit too late.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the answer was Louis Daguerre. Okay. So here's the next one. NASCAR geography, the ones you guys were waiting for. So NASCAR geography. Mr.
What is Daytona, Florida?
Florida would have been acceptable. There you go. D in science again. So D in quotation marks in science. So this is for $600. The natural crystalline allotropic form of carbon. Kit.
Who are diamond?
All right. This one's going to be the Golden Globe Awards. So, Golden Globe. So, Dennis Frank series as David Caruso did, Mr. Curved.
What is Hill Street Blues?
Ooh. Sorry.
Wrong.
It's incorrect. Curved. But
I just want to
yeah.
let you guys know that his mic is cutting out on the live feed badly.
My mic is?
Yes, we can't hear after what you're saying on the live feed.
Who's we, Kimasabi? We hear them.
People are watching it on YouTube.
Jem streaming this to YouTube and you guys are doing trivia in here?
Well, you're here now, Jared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just tell me if that persists. If that persists, it might be a problem. But anyway, here's the very next one. And I'll let you know, these are some flat earth questions, Jeremy, so jump in. The globes. That's anyways, 300. X marks the spot where he won a Best Actor award for X-Files. Mr. Shroomy.
Antarctica song.
Oh wow, this is a really good guess, man. But no, that's really wrong. So he won the Best Actor, Mr. Kidd. That's like the only guy from the show. Other than didn't they have the Terminator 2, fucking T-2000 or what is it, T-9000?
Spoiler alert.
What the fuck, man? That's not a spoiler. Pocono race curve.
What is Pennsylvania?
That's correct. Yeah, those ones are kind of unfairly American. NASCAR geography. That's correct. I'm gonna skip those when they come up. But there shouldn't be any more. He thanked Annette Bening, the mother of his new baby. So yeah, go ahead, Curve.
God.
Yes. The Golden Globe Awards, 1800. A Golden Globe was just one of the honors this Mexican-born director got in 2018 for The Shape of Water. Kit.
Was the shape bend?
Guillermo del Toro.
That's impressive.
All right, D in science, quotation marks. Hey man, that's heavy hydrogen. Mr. Curved.
What is deuterium?
Deuterium is correct. Curved is on a roll. D in science, 2400. In 18 gas, liquefied hydrogen gas. All right. Three, 2, 1. We're looking for James Doerr. I wonder if is that the Doors guy?
Scotch.
Oh. Anyways, here we go. The high cost of dying for 1200. The murder by Indians of Thorvald, this Viking's brother, effectively ended their exploration of America. You guys know this one? 1200.
Eric Green.
Eric Green. That's a good guess, but it's not Eric Green.
Okay.
And but yeah.
Columbus or something, you know. Obviously wrong, fuck it.
Other effectively ended their exploration of America. In 3, 2. So Twit was very close. His name had Eric in it. It was a valiant effort. But the dreaded Oprah category. Ooh. $1,500. It's Mogul Oprah. Chair, go ahead, Mr. Curve.
What is oxygen? The oxygen.
What is oxygen? That's a good question. That's correct. The dreaded Oprah category again. Career woman Oprah has said marriage wouldn't work with this beau she calls a traditional black man. Go ahead, Mr. Curve.
Where is my man Stedman?
Stedman Winfrey. Anyways, archaeology 3000. This is a big one. Dress is here. I know he's a big archaeology guy. So GF Grodenfeld and Sir Henry Rawlinson, I guess. Curved.
How about uniform?
Uniform is correct.
Science.
Archaeology? Why do you say that?
Well, we'll get into it later. Just remember that. I don't want to interrupt the trivia.
Because QE says so.
Yeah, archaeology is indeed a type of science which employs other types of science.
We'll get into it later. I don't want to interrupt the trivia. Continue, please.
Okay. The high cost of dying. 600. This monarch's death in 1980 solidified the control of the Ayatollah Khomeini. So this monarch's death in 1980 solidified the control of the Ayatollah Khomeini. Deux, trois. Maybe y'all's buttons weren't working, but there's a Shah of Iran. You guys knew that one. Come on.
I was trying to come up with a name.
Yeah, well, I don't know what his name is. I know he's the Shah. But okay, here we go. Archaeology, 1800s. $1,800, I mean. So get on top of this. Remains of this native dog are found in Australia, but not in Tasmania. Mr. Kit.
What is the dingo?
What is it? Is correct. Archaeology. In archaeology, this term refers to any object made by the hand of man. Mr. Shroomy.
A square.
Archaeology, this term refers to any object made by the hands of a man or woman. 3, 2, Mr. Curve.
I'll guess artifact.
Artifact is correct. Good show. Archaeology again. 1996, Frank Godio in the port of 1996, Mr. Curve.
This is a bad one. I'm going to guess Nefertiti.
It's not correct. I'm sorry. So in 1986, go ahead, Mr. Curve.
Then how about Cleopatra?
That is correct. Good show. I forgot Nefertiti was queen before she was. 3,000. This royal family, Charles II's death led to disastrous war of succession. So the last Spanish member of this royal War of Succession. Mr. Shroomy. Once, going twice.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know what I mean.
All right, no big deal. No big deal. Last Spanish member. I mean, I'm sorry. The family of this last Spanish member, Charles. 3, 2, 1. It's the Habsburgs. You guys know them? Or the Habsburgs. Movies. Kurt, you have the opportunity to bet some of your money. You have probably
I hate movies. 1,000.
1,000. Okay. Curved. What? Here's a clue. The villain's visage in this movie series was partly chosen due to its likeness to an 1893. The villain's vestige in this movie series was partly chosen due to its likeness to an 1893 work by a Norwegian artist.
Count Dracula.
Count Dracula. Sorry. I'm gonna put the answer up there, but next for me when you get a chance also.
Aliens.
Actually, you don't even have to. Let me just do this. Got a mask on. And then they got the one with the tongue out for Scary Movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But Men of Science, 600. On a scale of 1 to 10, his earthquake article for the 15th edition encyclopedia. Go ahead, Mr. Curved.
How about Richter?
Andy Richter is correct. Problem. Yeah, go ahead and press X again, Curved.
It got me.
Okay. No, you might have to do it again.
No.
You might have to do it again. Hopefully it didn't pay you twice, but we'll figure that out. Math. So this is a math category. A logarithm is an example of this symbol. Example of this symbol. There's a lot of smart dudes in the server. I'm surprised Shroomy is the first one to answer. Good guess, but a logarithm is an example of this symbol. 3, 2, 1. An exponent. A logarithm is an Okay. Here we go. Science and Nature for 3,000. Shrews, hedgehogs, and moles are this type of name for the creatures they eat. Kid.
Well, I was gonna say rodent, but I don't think it's that now.
Yeah, sorry. It's a 3,000. But right, shrews, hedgehogs, and moles are this type of mammal named for the creatures they eat. 3, 2, 1. We're looking for. Oh wait, no, Shroomy, go ahead.
A rat.
Okay. Sorry, it's not correct. So 3, 2, 1. We're looking for insectivores. Insectivores. All right. Science and Nature, 600. This African carnivore, famous for its laugh, also emits a piercing howl. Kit.
Hyena.
Hyena is correct. All right.
Pigeon.
Math. So here's a math one for 300. When you divide 17 by 5, 2 is this. Mr. Kit.
The remainder.
You could also say the it was mod, but I guess that's not the right. In 1930, John Northrop ended a dispute by proving that an enzyme in this type of substance. Mr. Curved.
What is a protein?
What is a protein shake? That's correct. Math, 600. And is the set of these. Curved.
Integers.
That is correct. You're on fire. Science and Nature, 2400. It's the wave-like muscular contractions of the alimentary canal. Go ahead, Mr. Curve.
What is peristalsis?
If I didn't know you, I'd say, who is this? You're like a Ken Jennings over here. Okay. Men of Science, 2400. This Italian discovered that electricity could make a dead frog's muscle contract. Go ahead, Mr.
Benjamin.
But I know who he is.
Tied a kite. He tied a frog to his kite, didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's kind of a good guess. So in the 1700s, this Italian, he's an Italian guy. He discovered electricity could make a dead frog's muscles contract. But
was it that knob Ampere?
It was not that knob Ampere. Sorry. Dose or Trace. It was Luigi, believe it or not. Mario's brother.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything Italian sounding.
Yeah.
Linguini.
Linguini. All right, geography, 600. In the Middle Ages as the gateway to China, Lanzhou was an important stop on this trade route. Mr. Curve.
Silk Road?
That's correct. Not to be confused with the online store for buying hitmen. This is the classic one. All right. And again, bet.
I 1,000.
You have pass? $1,000. Go ahead and press X. Otherwise, I might skip this one. Okay, shrew me. How much you want to gamble?
100.
All of it? Okay, I'll tell you what. If you win this question, $15,000.
Is it gonna be a new question or what? Like,
no, it's a new question. It's for children's literature. Mr. Was. What?
Dr. Zeus.
Yeah, I haven't said the question yet. So, classic children's literature. A 2016 biography of a children's author is titled "The Great Green Room," a line from this classic book. So, what's the classic book, Shroomy?
I don't know, man. Harry Potter.
Say Alice in Wonderland.
That is not correct, Shroomy, but I'll go ahead and let's just take a look at the scores right now and see where everyone's at. Shroomy, you got negative 15,000. I was exactly right. You have negative 15,000. I'm gonna do you a solid, this man. So you need special treatment, Shroomy. I'm gonna take you out of the hole, though. You know what? I'm not gonna do that because sometimes being in the hole, but you get that far in the hole. Next question. 13-letter words.
Hang on. What was the answer to Shrooby's question? I missed something.
Yeah, it was a good night moon.
Shroomy didn't say he bet at all. He only said 100.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna take him out of the hole for getting it right anyways, but it doesn't matter. You did get it wrong, Shroomy, so. Shroomy. This is for anybody, though. 13-letter words for 300. An ability or accomplishment that makes a person suitable for a particular position or task. Mr. Kit.
What is a qualification?
What is a qual? I thought that was a 4-letter word, but there you go. Okay. Religion for 1800. In this Chinese-occupied region was identified as the reincarnation of Panchen Lama. Whoever Panchen Lama is. All you Chinese buffs out there. This 1995 6-year-old boy in this Chinese-occupied region was identified as the reincarnation or reincarnated Panchen Lama. Tibet. Religion. And is, the Adhan is a call to this. Mr. Curved.
Shouldn't have done that. Prayer.
That's right. There we go. Okay. I take these giant vitamins and I have to 900. The basilisk, known for its ability to walk on water, is a type of this creature. That's not what I was looking for, sorry. So the basilisk was determined.
A lizard. But say snakes don't.
Yeah, I know, but even still. For $1,800. Okay. His name is a contraction of Arabic for the God. The Quran says he is eternal and omnipotent. Mr. Kidd.
Is it Allah?
Right. Not to be Muhammad, who's a 13-letter words. 13-letter words. To be a sorry, let me slow down so I can read this correctly. To be a contemplative form of mind like Hume or Whitehead. So, 13-letter words. The clue is to be a contemplative form of mind or what? 3, 2, 1. We were looking for philosophical. Religion, $1,800.
I kept hitting C, but I meant to hit X.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Twit. I'm sorry. I'm looking. I have two screens open so I can see if people are about to be typing or something too. So I'll try to make sure I give some leeway if I see someone typing. But anyways, here we go. So religion, $1,800. Latter-day Saints is the more correct term for members of Mr. Kit.
What is the Mormon Church?
That's correct. You got bead. Here we go. What did I type? Oh, I typed A in the wrong room. Either way, 13-letter words, $600. A TV. It's the VC in VCR. You remember those, don't you, Mr. Kit?
Video cassette.
There you go. I feel like you're looking at my answers, man. Okay. Nature. Other vertebrates? Vertebrates. Oh, that sounds weird. Like other vertebrates. Determined.
Wings.
Wings is a good band. And ooh, for 600. Jenny told me love means never having to say you're sorry, but now she was gone and that nurse was giving me the eye. Rough alternative literary endings. So Jenny told me love means never having to say you're sorry.
What is it? Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
That's a good attempt. That did win Best Picture in 77 or 76. Mr. Curve.
When is Forrest Gump?
That was Best Picture 94. So Jenny told me love means never having to say you're sorry. In 3, 2, 1. I forgot the title of this one too, but it was Love Story.
You forgot Tarman.
No,
I didn't.
I thought
Yeah,
you X'd in.
He might have done it at a time.
Kurt beat me.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, he would have had to X in again after the next set of red diamonds.
Right.
That helps.
Neil Diamonds. Yeah, so here's another one for rough alternative endings. Literary endings. So 300. Farmer, arable, dabbed. Okay, let's try this again. Some pig indeed. Some pig indeed. Mr. Curve. Charlotte is correct. And the correct pronunciation.
That is horrible.
Nature for 1500. Is animal. Its companions in the Anura. Its cousin or its companion. Mr. Rigo Flat Earther.
What is flies?
Flies is a very incorrect answer, but I see where you're going with that. It's their companions in the order Anura. So I'm just going to put the answer in 3, 2. I even said cousins by accident. So, but anyways, nature for 300. This flower has been grown since ancient times for its foliage, fragrance, and hips. Mr. Kit.
Rose.
Okay. Here we go. Last one before the. So enraged, Lemuel. Enraged. Sorry, let me try this again. There we go. Enraged, Lemuel tore the ropes from his body. His captors were not 6 inches high. His boot rose ominously. Mr. Turman.
Gulliver's Travels.
Gulliver's Travels is correct. And that brings us to Final Jeopardy. So let's look at the scores real quick. If you haven't participated at this point, then you'll probably just have 0. But if you have, you can wager the amount that you have. Shroomy, you can wager 18,000. No, let's say 19. Or sorry, 16,000 streaming because you're in the hole very much. But everybody else besides Kit and Curved, you can wager up to 3,000, and Kit and Curved, you can wager as much as you see there on the screen. So here's the category, and what you're gonna do is just DM me the amount that you wanna wager. Category is gonna be English literature. So go ahead and send me some DMs for the amount that you want to wager, unless you don't want to. So I'll wait 5 seconds. So DMing me. Speak up now if you're just taking too long or something. All right. So everyone who's DMing me now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go. So here's the clue, and also DM me the answer. So set in Scandinavia, not in Britain. Written in English, in Old English. So go ahead and send me your answers. It's English literature, and it's set in Scandinavia, not in Britain. It's the longest surviving epic poem written in Old. And with that, I'm going to crack open, not a cold one, but a lukewarm one. All right. So we got Mr. Wise, one of my favorites. He always has the best answers. He bets $10 from his 0 that he currently has on the board. And the boy who stood on a burning deck. Why did he do that? No, that's not correct.
It's a type of poem.
It sounds like a news report. Okay, it's not correct though.
With a pocket full of crackers.
You said what? Say again?
Surely you better.
Oh. Okay. Well, he shouldn't be there. But okay, so now we have Mr. Kit. Mr. Kit bet 1,000, and he said Beowulf. Beowulf is the correct answer. So good show. Let's see here. No answer from Mr. Flashburn. No bueno. And Mr. Curved, who also bet 3,000, and also gave no answer.
Can
So
I
unfortunately,
now? I dismissed Beowulf because I was thinking it wasn't in English. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I took an old English class. And actually we had to read that. It's the only reason I knew that. But right. So let's just look at the final scores. There's still good scores. I mean, it hasn't changed by much. Let's see. There we go. And so that was just a taste of. So Struminati wins with his the absolute value of 15,000, but when we're using actual curved, even though he lost the final Jeopardy question, he remained his lead with 13,000. So good show. Kit close behind with 7,000. Good show.
Congratulations, Shermy. Well done.
Yeah. And so if you guys want to play trivia, we'll probably be playing in the other room at some time soon, probably after my breakfast. But there we go. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that nobody else participated, but you two who normally participate. Yeah.
It is a lot more fun with more.
It's too bad. Questions that I feel like everybody would have known the answers to. I was like, hey, Jeremy's talking, but I forgot to change my name to Jeremy.
Jeremy wrote down most of the answers on his whiteboard. He probably got them.
Well,
Well, why did you change yours to Jeremy?
I already think I'm Kosho, and now we both got Jeremy on our names.
my name was Jeremy longer than it's been Kosho, so.
All right. I don't even like our names, so whatever.
Why?
Your name sucks, dude.
Why?
People get confused to say Jerry, Gary, just all kinds of shit. It's
Jeremiah. Jebediah.
You gotta hear Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, you could change to Jezebel.
No, we're not doing it. Again, in Greek, ancient Greek, Sumerian.
But not in Greek, in
Jeremy
Hebrew.
spelt with the, why is one Jeremy spelt with a lowercase j?
He's probably the wrong one.
He's a lowercase, is he?
Jeremy means God is high, which is cool. It's just a cool idea, dude. God is high. God smoked that good shit.
That explains why you're so protective of that tree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. And it was growing. Bud.
There's actually people that claim that Satan in the Garden of Eden story, they're actually claiming that the snake was God and Satan.
A good friend of mine told me that story once about how there's an interpretation that says that the snake was actually the good guy, and it was the person who was telling them not to eat the apple was the deceiver.
Because the snake wanted us to have the knowledge.
I think knowledge is good.
Yeah, so why would the snake wanted us to have this knowledge, but God didn't?
Anyways, it's like just knowing good and evil means that you can now do good and evil things or something, or what the hell? I mean, if you just because you don't know good and evil doesn't mean everything you do is. Well, I guess it does kind of. If there's no such thing as good and evil, then everything you do is.
If I don't know what good and evil is and I kill someone that's neutral.
I guess. That's what the Bible says.
I don't know, Coach.
She had sex with the snake.
I mean,
you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian, though, right, Jeremy?
No, my family was heavy Catholics, but I never really got into it.
Did they ever lose weight?
Lose weight? Yeah. No, I mean they were big time into Catholicism.
A few times.
So fucking boring. Oh.
Yeah. It's also like Mormon church. I've been to Mormon church a few times. It's so boring. Everyone knows. Churches are by far the most fun. Just because there's always there's a lot of energy. There's always a lot of energy. Yeah, there's singing, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, like see, like I don't want to call it a normal church, but see the kind of churches that we got up here, man. It's like hardcore depressing or some shit. Like they sing mad depressing songs about dying. You know what I'm saying?
See, my dad was a rabbi, but before he went full blown Jew, he was a Messianic Jew, and Messianic Jews believe in Jesus. But this church he was at was so weird, and I had to. I went one time and I had to leave just because. I didn't come back. I mean, I didn't leave that time, but I just didn't want to come back because the lady was so weird. But they would talk about like sword fighting demons in your demons. I'm like, what the fuck? And then this one lady, like, we were pulled in a private room, and then she was like doing like a. I was like a super powerful spirit or something. I was like, okay, but it was like awkward because I was just sitting there and crying. So those are exciting, but also
videos on YouTube, but these people like looking like they're drunk or some shit off of God, you know what I mean? Like they actually like falling around and shit, like you know what I mean? Like what do you call that shit?
Well, I used to go to a church. There was a bus that would pick us up on Wednesdays, and we were kind of bad. We would like just get drunk and get on that bus because it was like a nice tour bus thing, and they would take us into the city to this like teenage church thing, and so yeah, when we got there though, there would be like a concert, and then there would be a dude on stage saying some weird shit. But one time there was this dude there, and he did this whole like preachy thing, and then started up down the aisle, and then he put his hand on their heads, like they would just fall over. And I was like, dude, let's get the fuck out of here. Because like he was coming towards us. And I didn't want him to fucking put his hand on my head. But everybody he was putting, he's just going down the aisle, just put his hands on everyone's heads.
So how funny would it be if you just like pretended to? I mean, like people like one of them, like, man, you're crazy. Like you're making me feel crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Start doing this shit like Lucifer's inside me, and I was saying, do you think it would all beat you up?
He'd probably kick my ass, man, if I told him Lucifer was inside me at the church.
Lucifer would have came out of you. You would have fallen to your knees, Crow Show.
Yeah, maybe. Special when he's doing like the religious prayer or the religious healing thing. It's the same. He does the same concept, and the religious people have been doing that for like 200-300 years. So.
What do you call them at church? Is that all them people like start going weird at, and I mean like start fainting and all that, like.
I think they just do that because if you speak in tongues, obviously it's not a language, so you can just say that you're saying anything. You're like,
yeah, but
like
listen,
instead
like,
if you start speaking Spanish real quick, that would be an actual feat.
Like a normal church, right? And then all these motherfuckers start fainting and all that shit. I mean,
that was really weird. Just because like, it was
saying, like I'm not to church when they're fainting and shit, and then they break people up like, yo, I want to kill you and all that shit. I mean, and then like they start speaking and talking, fainting and all that shit, and then they just look like drunk.
Most of the people who were there were actual Christians, so like me and my friends were the only ones who would go there just to hang out.
Well, it's like saying the Jews in Israel that fucking have their long ass hair and wear the same black hat and clothes every day and dance around with just a room full of men are like the real Jews. Those are the Orthodox nut job. Fuck Jews.
Well, everybody who's in any sect of anything think that their interpretation is the correct one. So whether it's Orthodox Jews or Presbyterian.
There's like literally 1,000 of them, and they're all reading, and they literally control neighborhoods. And if you walk through there, it's like a gang. It's a fucking gang.
They're the only Israelis that don't have to serve in the military.
Well, it's just they just don't do it because they're hard R.
Because they're hard R's. It's funny. Honestly, I think Israeli women are some of the most beautiful women.
Some of the beautifulest women.
Americans do, that's true. But for the same reason. It's because we're a collection of people from all over. So, like, you might meet a woman who's got, like, a German... British people.